What's love, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rolam Live Show. I am your host, Rolam, and I am joined by my good friends, Wally V and Danny J. Quick. We are missing one of our team members, so it's 3 out of the 4 of us, but we make up the founding members of a new company that we're establishing called Bequestudios. Wally, Danny, how y'all doing today? Y'all good?
Hey man, I'm blessed and highly favored, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, man. This is how many episodes? How many episodes is this for you now?
I don't even count episodes, so we just go. I don't
We
know.
just rock. Okay, I just know I ain't been on before. I just know.
Yeah.
I just know I ain't been on before.
Yeah,
But,
that was a good try. Danny.
but I appreciate it. I appreciate you getting me on here.
For sure.
I feel
Wally, how you doing, brother?
I feel sensational.
Let's go.
Sensational.
Let's go. Well, as I said, we are 3 out of the 4 members of Bequestudios. Our last member, Morgan Iverson, should be joining us probably about 20 or 30 minutes. And we're going to get into Bequestudios. We're going to get into all of that a little bit later. Before we do that, I love to ask one question before we get started. And that question is, what's inspiring you right now? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What's something that is keeping that creative spark alive for you right now? Danny, you go first.
Man, really, my wife is. To be honest with you, my wife is a hairstylist. She's been a cosmetologist ever since I know her. We've known each other. How many years now, babe? 21 years now, and we've been married 17 years. Wow. But she, in addition to the major stuff she's doing with the hair salon, she started working on a Ace Blade costume these past couple weeks, and she's always talked about doing clothing and using her other talents as a seamstress, and her grandmother was a seamstress, so just to see her be able to literally just go from an idea and to be able to just say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then get it done. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen the videos, but she convinced our middle daughter to put on the costume, until we can find somebody Ace Blades, build to do it. Right. And so I say she not only inspiring me, but the kids too, because it's definitely ain't the type to put on a costume and get on camera. She would do cosplay, but she ain't doing it on camera.
Right.
But if mom says do it, she'll do it. So
sure.
the wife and kids are always inspiring to me.
Yeah. Dope. How about you, Wally?
Man. Not really reading too much of nothing because I'm whack, but outside of that, man, I mean the same family. The things around me, the things in the environment, just gotta stay motivated to do more, be more. So what keep me on my toes, the fact that I got people around me that I can impact or do something for, you know what I mean? That's the biggest aspect of inspiration for me.
That's what it's about. Yeah. For me, it's been 2 things. One, I'm wrapping up the Kickstarter campaign, right? I'm getting my books packed up, I'm getting shipped out, and just getting that monkey off my back is like, it's freeing up my mind for like newer things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And then I think I've also been doing something on my Patreon where I'm gonna do a story every day for the last 100 days of the year. And that has been, I'm on day 26 today, and I've done every day. And that's been a challenge. Like I'm scraping the barrel of my creativity, but as soon as I think I'm at the end, it's just like more ideas just continue to come. You know what I'm saying? They continue to come. And so it's exciting to be doing that because it's opening up more pathways and possibilities in my mind for what I can do. You know what I'm saying? So that's been incredible for me. Any other things y'all want to add to this conversation about what's inspiring you? Everybody good?
I don't know, man. I think just the also the new landscape of creativity, right? Like we're doing this with Bequest, but there's black indies coming together with superhero stories, and then there's you know companies like Distillery. There's Jeff Johns, even like industry veterans are going indie. Like it seems like a lot of people are like going to creator owned.
Right.
The big companies have been dominating for so long, and how that go. They've been in the game 75 years, but now it seems like audiences are opening up to new stories that aren't necessary, legacy characters or something that's been around for 80, 100 years. So it's inspirational to see like the landscape changing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I'm looking. I think that's hopeful for the future for us, especially.
Yeah. You want to add anything, Wally?
Yeah, Dan, if we do one more interview where you name one of these other entities that's already got that bread and that following.
I would wait on that.
I, I don't think it's a bad thing, man. I think it's good to be different, man. They got what they got, but they ain't got us. Like I don't.
No, I'm talking about just they ain't saying our name. I ain't want to keep saying their name. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, right. They know if the ads have been working like they've been working on me, they know.
Nah, it was 3 people in the chat last night. It was like, yo, I had never heard of them until you said them.
I didn't see that.
That's free pub. That's free pub. I ain't trying to promote them guys, but respect to them.
Yeah. So moving on to, and it sort of tags on to what Danny was talking about, like you got a lot of these creators moving into the creator-owned space. And one question I like to ask people, because I think this question, when I asked this question on the show before, I've gotten a different answer every single time. And so I would love to hear, how do you define creativity?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I never defined it. It's a combination of things. It's an act. It's a thought. It's emotion. It's a desire. Because there's so many levels and aspects of what creation is.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. From a wide perspective, to me, it's all those things, because it takes a thought to become anything else, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's a valid answer. I had somebody come on and say I don't define it. That's valid. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, and it might just be the writer reader in me, I always like to have like a little definition of things. And I know this doesn't encompass all of creativity, but for me, creativity is problem solving. I think when you have anywhere you look, creativity is being used to solve some type of issue or some type of problem. And so whether it's writing a book, or it's, writing a movie, or it's creating the next, website, it's okay, what's your problem? Okay, cool. This is how we fix it. This is how we attack it in a new way. You know what I'm saying? What you thinking, Danny? What you thinking?
I feel like creativity is the step that from the first step from inspiration to actually making something. Whenever you, whatever that first step is for you, if it's writing down the idea on a piece of paper, if it's going to buy paint to put it on a canvas, if it's taking 2 pieces of cardboard and gluing them together, or whatever that step is, that takes it from an idea, that starts the process from idea to reality, is kind of, that's where I see like creativity at, and that can be anything, you know what I'm saying?
Anything,
depending on how you decide to make it, and there's a lot of creativity and ideas too, but I feel like the step to that goes from in your brain to something tangible is a big part of it.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get to Bequestudios things. I just have one more question. I actually just thought of the question.
He said that 2 questions ago.
I know. I just started this question as we were talking. This is the first time that I've had multiple people on. It's like a panel. And I was thinking about when I looked at the screen, I'm like, yo, we're all fathers, right? And so I wrote this question down real quick. How has fatherhood impacted your creativity?
You going first, Mr. Quick?
I mean, the kids, I'll say no, I'll say I think it's been crazy because the kids are also so creative, right? The my son, I didn't know that he was interested in music until we went to church, and I was like we need somebody to play the drums, and he was like, oh, I want to do it. And then he was like, I was like, DJ, when did you have the idea, when did you decide you want to play the drums? And then he gets on the drums and he can actually do it. Like he can he can be ambidextrous with the syncopation. So I'm like, bruh, like it's it's like, and I play the drums coming up. I play the keyboard. I play bass. My wife plays a mean tambourine. You know what I'm saying? she play a mean tambourine. But don't do it, Tiana. Please don't bring that.
Oh. Apparently he wasn't lying.
See, apparently he was telling the truth.
So it's just awesome, And then my youngest daughter, she's she's a young artist. I think it's impacted me as a father because I see that there's things that I can pass down to my children, and I can invest time and energy into their creativity too.
Yeah. What you thinking, Wally?
I'm gonna get Tiana to play the tambourine on one of my comeback mixtapes.
Yeah. Stop. Let me mute myself. I apologize.
Yo, yeah. I mean, listen, my kids changed. I mean, I was on the path, but my kids definitely changed my path a lot earlier, especially when my son was born. I realized I couldn't be so sporadic with certain things. I couldn't overreact, couldn't underreact. I had to make sure my purpose was purposeful, intentional, and that I made it out of situations. And so that was having a son. Having a daughter motivated a different part of me, a protective side, and having both of them realizing if nobody else is watching you, they are. You know what I mean? So, my daughter was a big part of what pushed me to start creating more and more of my own content, my own IPs and things of that nature, because her seeing that there was a missing, it's different now, but when she was born, she's 12. When she was first born, there wasn't a lot of Black girls in comics.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of Black folks in anything, you know what I'm saying? Like a limit to it. So, and she spoke on it at like 5 or 6 years old. So for her to be aware meant that there's no way other people aren't aware except for those who choose not to be. So being able to be creative and produce and write and illustrate meant that I could do something about it. And that's a powerful position to be in, because the arts have always been something, literature and different forms of visual arts have always been something that have been able to carry stories on well after the creators were gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's important. And that motivates me on a major scale. Even seeing people that come from where I come from who didn't think it was possible to even be at this point, and we not even nowhere near where we want to be, but for them to look up and say, yo, that's dope what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? And for others to look up and say, hey, maybe I could do that too, or do something like that thing that I thought I couldn't do. Yeah, I see them cats doing it, so this is possible. So that keeps me motivated and inspired and whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a quick story. I was in the carpool line picking my kids up, and one of the teachers come out to my car and says, "Hey, your son told me that you wrote a comic book." And I said, yeah, I got a couple copies right here. He bought some copies off me. And he came back later. He's like, yo, that was dope. When's the next one coming out? And one of the things that I told people before, when they would ask me, like, what do I want my kids to know about what I was doing? And I would always say, like, I just want them to know that I created something. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to know that dad had an idea and dad was committed enough to get it done. And now he's putting it in people's hands. You know what I'm saying? And I think every day when I'm creating and I'm like selling books and I'm thinking about people reading my books, that's one of the things I think about is that my kids, you know, they know that, oh, my dad is out here creating stuff. When I go to cons, they like, oh, dad, you going to work? Like, oh, you going to sell some books?
Right.
And I'm like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. And whether I sell a bunch of books or not, it's like my kids know my dad is out here doing something with his gift. And them seeing that gives them, you know, my middle son, his name is Kingston, you know, he'll run in, he'll write write on pages, draw a little stuff and then fold the pages up and say, Dad, look, I wrote a book. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about. Right. And so I think this is a nice segue into what Bequestudios is. And I would love to hear from you all what Bequest is to y'all, because I feel like you guys invited me into this after you guys had already been thinking about this and putting this together. So for y'all, what is Bequestudios and how did y'all come to the realization that we need this? You know what I'm saying?
Danny, quit before Morgan started typing while driving.
Right,
bro. Just get to the crib, bro. Get to the crib.
Yeah, man. For me, I think I just always knew that I wanted to do things outside of I mean, I love superheroes, man. I absolutely love superheroes and superhero stories. And you know, I think the stuff that I've created so far in comic books has kind of been all in one vein. You know, I was like, I want to create a superhero universe, but I got so many ideas. I get so many ideas that are outside of that can't fit into that, you know. And I always knew that. Literally, I tell the story all the time. When the first time I met Wally, the first time I saw his art, I just stopped at the table. I don't know what year was it, Wally. Was it 2011? 20?
A long time ago.
2010. It was a minute ago.
Shout out to Alex Ortiz, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, what up, Alex? What up, Alex? I didn't want to cut you off, Dan. That's why I didn't say nothing.
But it was literally like it was my first comic book convention. It was my first time seeing that regular.
That was a Heroes, right?
It was a Heroes Con, yeah, and it was literally my first time like opening my brain to the idea that people were making these things. You know, people were making these comic books. I didn't know about, you know, I knew who Stan Lee was, but I didn't know Todd McFarlane's and, you know, Dwayne McDuffie's. I didn't know all that, and I especially didn't know that, you know, people in the same cities as me were making the things. But ever since I went to that show, saw Wally's art, and I was like, yo, this dude is special.
Terrible. He's like, this dude's work is
this dude is special. He's one of the first people that I ever approached to ask to draw Ace Blade, you know, as far as like a commission is concerned. I want to say probably in the first 5 people that I ever asked to draw Ace Blade, and was willing to just say, hey, please, I just want to see what you can do with it, you know. And that ever since then, man, it's been like, I just want to work with Wally, no matter whatever is going on. I want to work with Wally. So when the opportunity came after the stuff that happened with Short Fuse, I just knew that, you know, was going to figure out a way to do something, you know.
We dropping names, huh?
I mean, if they know me, they know. If they know me, they know that. So, no, you know, after everything happened with that, it was like,
I was about to say some names. Nah, go ahead.
You know, so if there was gonna be another, you know, chance to join up, it was gonna be Wally. Wally was gonna be involved, and Morgan was gonna be involved with it, or it wasn't gonna happen. So there were other people that wanted to, that was like, hey man, we like Ace Blade, man, come check us out. You're gonna check out Morgan and Wally too, because that's what it's gonna be.
Right.
So
right.
For me, it was just that I knew that Morgan and Wally, I know I want to work with them. So that's just that's how it is for me. So and then when we came to what was it, Minicon, and we finally linked up with Ro, I was like, this is the guy. Like we was like, I knew, I was like I was like, we need one, at least one more person. And when we linked up at the Minicon, you had your mom there, and she was out there selling books, telling people, hey, you've been sitting here talking, buy something. I was like, this the one. This is it right here. This is it.
Word.
Well, I mean, and the fact that me and Danny talked a few times, and your name was the one that we kept discussing. Like, because for me, well, first of all, Alex, you ain't seen. I'm him. Ain't no tears. Ain't no tears here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that love on Harlem too.
It's good.
Yeah, good. Lamar. Appreciate you, Lamar.
I mean, when I met Danny, the biggest thing, anybody that meet me, the thing I'm always talking about is ownership. And the thing that I'm always stressing is, having control, some things you create to put out there and give to the world and let it be what it be, and other things you create because it's a part of you. But at the end of the day, having some sort of control over your path, your destiny has always been important to me. And it don't mean you can't work out deals and agreements. And, some people get it twisted. You have the things that you keep close. You have the things that you put out there so that it can move other things forward, which is why I even ever cared about working for certain companies. And, ain't no crying because, I'm stable like that. I'm steady. But if I did cry off camera, nobody would know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm in a safe space, so I could go in there and do that quietly. Nah. But but at the end of the day, man, like I've and Danny can tell you, I've always wanted to build something with a collective, but it's hard. It's hard to get people together to put anything in motion because you got different personalities, different state of minds, and then in our case, you got people who have already been doing what they do in their own way for so long. So now you're trying to figure out how to function with each other and trying to figure out how to. But I think once you get past those initial hiccups, that's when all the beauty and magic starts happening, because now you understand how to function amongst each other, and you can harness that and turn it into something. You know what I mean? And having people who have already proven that they're gonna go get it no matter what nobody else say. And and that's another thing about everybody in the collective. For me, looking at what everybody has built, watching Danny go from paying me to do a terrible Ace Blade commission to now having people rock with them is to such a degree that they're like, yo, sending stuff like, yo, I just want to show you that I appreciate what you're doing. Watching you go from just asking questions about certain things to putting out your first series and keeping it moving no matter what the obstacles were. You know what I'm saying? Watching Morgan from first seeing, a couple pictures of Lumberjacks to being on what, number 4 or 5 now? 4? You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, that speaks volumes. But then for me, it's also about the community, like cats like Alex and others who are out here creating and been able to build and converse with each other and embrace each other and have conversations. So I think all of this ties into the long term of what we want to do, but keeping it simple by saying what is the foundation? Dang, that word, Danny. What is the core? What is the core of what we can do to start this and then build it out? You know what I'm saying? And of course, taking inspiration from Milestone and Image. But I like to say, looking at the things that they did and figuring out how to do that plus on another scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that brings me to another question about collaboration. What is your, and I want to come back to Bequestudios, but I really want to ask this question. What's your approach to collaboration, right? How do you strike that balance between compromise versus, sticking to your guns and saying, nah, I gotta stand on this. You know what I'm saying? I experienced this a lot when I was doing music. there were certain times when, I would make a song and then I would have a conversation with the producers about, well, we need to do, or we need to change this, or we probably need to do this, right? And so I had to say, okay, what are the things that I'm not going to change, and what are the things that I'm willing to bend on? You know what I'm saying? So what's your approach to that? How do y'all think about that?
I'm a terrible person to ask that question because
you the best person to ask that.
It depends on this. Being a freelance illustrator, when it's other people's properties, other people's projects, I just offer my perspective if they want it and get out the way, because my job is initially to do whatever they're saying they want to do. But if I see it and it's like, yo, this might work better like this, then I have a choice to make in that moment. I can put it together and show it, present it, and then they might dig it, they might not, but you understand that they might not. So you might have put time into it for nothing. But when it's my own, right. Danny knows quite well. My homie Jarrell, who I've done projects with, knows quite well. Like if I'm really firm on my vision, it's hard to stray me from it. Now, if you bring something to the table that that makes me like, then cool. I'm completely open to hearing it. Right. But I'm not that person that really bites my tongue if I just really feel strongly about it. But I am the person who will listen, and I might choose to not say too much and just sit on it for a day or two. You know what I'm saying? But once it feels like it just ain't settling well in the soul, I have, because what I can't do is put something out feeling like it's not what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to have certain things and blah blah blah, and that can be difficult because I know people who have worked with me and they went and wrote something and they bought it back and it was phenomenal for something else. Right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't phenomenal for that. And I know that's hard. It's like me spending hours drawing something and I bring it to somebody and they like, yeah, but that ain't it though. Right. You know what I'm saying? So but I think it's mixed and matched on different scenarios and different situations. And I did have to do a lot of, because I was so used to doing things on my own. And I think me and Danny are very opposite on certain things. From my experience with Danny, is more, here are the things that I know I need, and then you can do whatever else in between. Yeah. He gives a lot more room than sometimes I'm willing to when it comes to certain things, certain characters and stories and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And I just want to say real quick, I think when you say you don't bite your tongue, I personally think that's a sign of a great collaborator, because I've worked with people who they would bite their tongue, but I knew that they had a problem with what we was working on. And so I'm like, yo, like, if just say you got a problem with it so that we can deal with it before we get to, if we deal with it on the front end, then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We can deal with it easy here rather than we get all the way over here. And then it's like, well, I never liked that. It's like, nah, like you should have said that back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's why I say you were a good person to ask, because I feel like you were a great collaborator. I mean, we collaborated on the Scar. It was smooth, you know what I'm saying? And it went, we had those conversations. I don't think we butted heads on that, but we had those conversations. It was like, all right, cool. That's what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. All right, boom. Right. All right, well, let's try to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think you need that in that collaboration. What you thinking, Danny?
For me, I think it's, I 100% agree, but it's, for me, it's a trust thing. It's like, I know, for me, I know that, when I see somebody has a talent or a gift for something, I'm gonna let you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I know what I know, and I know, with my experience and the things that I've done, and learned over the past, I know that I can give to a group, right? Yeah. And I know that when I see somebody has a talent, that I might not completely understand your talent, but I know it when I see it. Yeah, so like Wally said, I'll sometimes be like, hey, the story is here. I know what I need the story to be, but you have this piece that I don't have. So you got to do your thing. And if I see it and it don't quite look right, I'm gonna let you know. But 9 times out of 10, because I already know that I trust you to do it right. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out the way it's supposed to come out.
Right.
And it's just it's a trust thing. Like, and it's nothing. To me, when you approach it like that, you can't be malicious. Like I told me and my wife, we was in church one time, and they was like, "Yo, how do you, how do you stay so calm? Like if you get in a disagreement about something, how do you stay so calm and how do you trust your spouse?" And I'm like, "Yo, Tiana wants what's best for me at all times. I believe that Tiana wants what's best for me at all times, even if she disagrees with the way that I'm doing something. If she tells me, yo, such and such and such and such, she wants what's best for me. So I'm not gonna take anything that she says as malicious as an attack against me."
Right.
You know. And in the creative process, it's the same. Like if you were to come and say, "Yo, this part of the story don't, this don't make sense," that's not an attack on me. You want what's best for the story. And the same with Wally and Morgan, this 10 panels that you wrote right here can be one page, one panel. Oh, really? Oh, hey, show me. Like I would love to see that. You know what I'm saying? So and it can be, and it can be better for the story. So I think it's just a trust that you gotta have to let people do what they're best at. And that's right. You choose people you trust. See, Tiana she'd be right here with me. We'll be right here.
Yeah. No, I mean that to me, that's key. I mean, that's key, especially like as a writer of comic books and you work with artists. That's one of the things I always put in my scripts. Everything you see in here is basically suggestions. You know what I'm saying? There may be some things I'm like stringent on, like we got to do it like this. But for the most part, it's just suggestion. I remember when we was working on a Scar, I had the panels a certain way, and Wally said, "Yo, I think we need an extra panel here for this, that, and the third." Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you do. Like you bring in, like Danny said, like I'm gonna trust that you're not just trying to change my stuff just to change it. You changing it because this is the best way to tell the story. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. But see, sometimes that trust, I had a situation where my trust broke down with a guy because he attacked my writing. He didn't say, "Oh, we need to." Nah, he was like, "Nah, he attacked me." Like literally, and I'm like, okay, you don't respect me. You know what I'm saying? You don't respect me. Now we really got an issue. You know what I'm saying? And so that trust thing, man, it's
I had somebody recently tell me that a logo was trash, and
see, we shouldn't be talking about this, bro, because then I become a different person.
I trust, and I can't even look at the person the same. You know,
if y'all notice, I ain't brought that up.
So I feel you on that
situation. Because
I feel you on that, bro. I just it just came to mind. That's all. But yeah, anyway, what's your next question?
No, but let's go back. Let's go back to Bequestudios. So I'm not with so we got a link in the YouTube page. You can click the link. It takes you to a place where you can see the foundation tee. I should have the pages up so I can share it and I can do all that. I'm not tech savvy like these guys, so I don't do all that. So y'all click that link and y'all can see what we're doing is we have it's called the foundation tee, has our logo on it. And if you purchase a tee, the money is going towards helping us to establish our company and get some projects rolling. So if you get a chance, I would love it if you would check that out. And we thank you in advance for the support. Okay, hold up. Maybe we got something working here. Hey, okay.
I got you back, bro. I got you back.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. So this is the Bequest Foundation tee. You can pre-order it. The first 10 come with, they come numbered 1 through 10. So definitely go check that out. It's got information on who we are, what we're going to do, what we're here for. And so, yeah, definitely check that out. But I really want to hear more in y'all's own words what Bequestudios is. Not why we started Bequestudios, but what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it to you?
Then I know you're excited. I was about to speak, but go ahead. I'll wait my turn.
Oh, I was sorry. I was on the website. What was the question again, Ro? My bad.
Oh, he was excited about what he was looking at on the website. I thought he was excited about the answer. God dang, I appreciate that, Gary, man.
I was just saying what oh man, we got hella comments over here. But But yeah, I was just
let me give a major shout out to Alex Ortiz. He's working on a book that I feel like is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
the
going to be
homie Carrie too, man.
Something major. Say again, Danny.
The homie Carrie too, man. Carrie's a good guy. Trying to get some stuff in the works too, bro. We out here.
Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. But I was just asking. I feel like when we talked about what Bequest was, we talked about a lot of like why we started it. But in your own words, from your perspective, what is Bequestudios? Like, what does it represent for you? You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's a legacy, man. It really is an opportunity to me, is what it is. It's an opportunity to create something that we can, you know, that has lasting power. Not that Ace Blade and all the stuff that we have don't, but it's very intentional. Like the 10 years I've been doing this, I was literally just learning and trying to figure out how to make comics and trying to develop my storytelling and teamwork and all this stuff. But Bequest is intentionally, for me, created to build something that I can leave opportunities for my children and for my community and for and to change the game, man. Like something that we talk about a lot, I feel like, is how artists and creative teams don't get the lasting respect when they make something that's that has impacted the culture. You might not respect that artist or that writer until they done passed on and they destitute or whatever, and now something they created is on the big screen and impacting whatever. Like I want to change that. So
yeah,
that's what it is for me, an opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, the same. I think the what, why, when, where, and how it all ties in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we definitely like we behind the scenes we rock with a lot of people. Questions come in about how to run Kickstarters and getting into conventions and how to put together scripts and find artists and all these different things. Like I don't think nobody has ever reached out to one of us that didn't get a conversation if we had answers or a way. And I think that's part of Bequest, the community aspect, and the opportunity to build with people you respect and care for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To see what we can do creatively, how we can impact each other, the stories, how we can grow what we're doing to a whole nother level, hopefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a combination of all those things, bro. And then also I want to make some noise. I want to shift some things.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never really took the easy route.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool with not taking it now, So that little compass on that logo, that's those varied opportunities, directions, paths, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of cool things. For me, I've had some people like, well, what makes you different? I don't even know if it's so much about us being so different. It's just us doing what we do and putting our stamp on it collectively and trying to elevate it to a whole nother place.
Yeah.
And yes, we do, Alex, plan on taking on other projects as we grow and build things. You know what I mean? We just want to make sure we do it right and we're coming to the table the right way. Danny has mentioned about, we all talk about ownership. He's mentioned about just how making sure that the creators are able to retain things and no disrespect to some other companies. Some companies out there where creators get to retain their rights, but the percentages that they get are so low, it's barely something that they can survive off of when the book does start selling and doing things. So we just want to make sure that we're doing all those things right in a way that's beneficial to everybody involved, and that we can use the outlets that we're building, especially when we see something dope and say, yo, if we can help get behind this and take it here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think just to piggyback off of that, I think I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited about is having a platform where we have the power, the ability, and the resources to amplify the projects that we see and we like and we care about and we want to see put into the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like a large part of, you know, what, like I look at like Issa from like Insecure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
She's definitely, she's had success, and then she's able to put other people on and say, look at this voice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's something that I'm excited about doing for, like I said, the projects we see and the creators that we see and love, but then also, like we talked about before, like our kids, you know what I'm saying? Our families, our communities, you know, when we see those talents evolving in our own homes, we have a process, we have a platform that now we can put them on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's all the major questions that I have. Again, we have the foundation tee. It's we're selling that. We're taking the funds from that to establish the company and to, you know, get things rolling. Before we get out of here, I think Morgan's gonna try to pop in here at some point. But before we get out of here, I call this segment the one. It's like just one word, like questions with like one word answers, real quick or not real quick. I had somebody who I asked the question to, and we talked for like 30 minutes on one of them. So hey, whatever you do, it's all good. It's all good. So the first question is, what is one comic book you think everyone should read? I really thought Danny was gonna be like, "Oh, you got to read Spider-Man #3." So
I think one comic book everybody should read.
It could be a book too. Like it could be a book.
Oh, a book in general, the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's definitely a good one. I'm gonna go with Scarlet Ranger. I think everybody should read.
Hey, let's go, man. That's
a beautiful answer, but it kind of feels like
he's just trying to make his grandpa proud, you know.
Oh, that's it. No, I appreciate that though. Yeah. I appreciate that. I should have said not any of our projects.
But you didn't know. You didn't say that.
Did it. So you got it. I love this, man. Corey, what you guys doing is true, man. Man, appreciate that, Alex, man, for sure, man. And keep doing your thing, because you definitely working on something dope, man. So keep going, man, for sure. Can't wait to see what you do.
Yeah, Alex working on something.
Yeah, for sure. What's one word that you would want your legacy described as?
Prolific.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with positive. I think if
inspirational.
If I leave a positive impact on the world, I ain't gonna say my mom always said, but I've heard the saying, you know, leave it better than you got it. You know, if I can add something to the world, and move it in a positive direction, that's what I want.
Yeah. I got it's either prolific or inspirational, because, you know, I don't know where the brother Nip got it from, but he said the highest act of a person is to inspire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I do agree. If you can inspire somebody or put somebody on a different path, quick short story. I remember taking one of my peoples, one of the fam to Baltimore with me, and I was like, "Yo, I want to show you something a little different." Went to Baltimore Comic Con. First time at the show, he helped me sell books, hanging out. First time he's seen people cosplay and all that. After everything was over, I said, "Yo, let's go to the mall." Mall was across the street from the convention center. Let's cop some sneakers and such. He was like, "With comic book money?" I was like, "Yeah, with comic book money." He was like, "Yo, I can't wait to tell cats, like, there's fam out here getting it with comic book money. Like, this ain't no dope money. This ain't no go rob somebody money. Like, this another path. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just made him go back home and grind even harder for the things that he wanted to do outside of the everyday, got to do this to survive. You know what I mean? Which means he'll then inspire somebody else, hopefully. And then somebody else that he impacted will impact, and that ripple effect. So,
yeah.
Morgan,
you there? Morgan?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just I'm still moving and shaking, but I wanted to get in before y'all got off.
Okay.
I gotta start all over. Go back to the first question.
What's
right.
Morgan? What's one word? What's one word you? Wait, can you talk right now? Or you busy?
I can talk and walk.
It's cool, bro. Do your thing, bro. It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
What's the question?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's one word that you would want your legacy described as?
Inspirational. I've had I've had a lot of things in my life that have been challenges for me that I don't think it dawns on you. Like, sometimes stuff doesn't dawn on you, like what you've been through or what you've overcome, unless or until you talk to somebody else that's gone through something similar or maybe in a different vein. So, like, one of the biggest things that I love about our opportunity, with making the company for Bequest, one of the biggest things that I want to be able to do is to inspire people to understand and to know that, just like what Wally was just saying in the story that he was given, like, being able to show people that, it's never too late. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. Like, nothing's too late until you stop breathing. So if you had that idea, you know what I'm saying, in your head, and you feel like, it's too late, or you passed the time period that you can get that done, or whatever it is, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? And I want Bequest to get to the place where, like you just said, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to the place where we have the resources to be able to find that person with that talent, that we can give you the resources in your hand to go and accomplish more than you thought you were even capable of. And then we have to have the keen eyes, you know what I'm saying, to be able to see that talent and then put it in the position that we know that it should be. You know what I'm saying? Whether they can see it or not, all you can do is open the pathway to opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I'm excited about Bequest, in the future, as we continue to build things, being able to be, is being able to be a beacon to, especially our community, you know what I'm saying, the African-American community, that, bruh, like, Danny's been saying this for years, you know what I'm saying, but regular people making comics, like, I had no idea. I had no idea that regular people made comics. I definitely had no idea that Black people made comics. And the only reason I'm here is because Danny kept bugging the crap out of me about helping him come up with some character names for a Sit Squad, which, I mean, we don't even use them now. but I mean, that's the whole, everything else with me writing for Lumberjacks and all of that stuff fell out from Danny being persistent and asking me to do it based on something that he read of mine. And I was inspired by Danny. I was inspired by Danny writing his book and publishing it. And because of that, you know what I'm saying, because he did that, that inspired me to, hey, can you read this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm inspired by what you did. Can you read this and let me know what you think about it? And he read it and he liked it. And then everything else just fell after that. So, I mean, you never know who you can inspire. So for me, inspirational will be the word, I guess.
Word. Man, that's great. We have 50 minutes. If there's one piece of advice you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Stay the course. Stay the course. Don't waver. You know, probably some little things here and there I write down and say, hey, make this left instead of this right. But, you know, that's going a little deeper into it. But it definitely stay the course.
Yeah.
It's going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Danny?
I don't know, bro. I was gonna say just do it like Nike. Don't stop, don't hesitate. But I ain't never had
tell
the problem.
yourself that every day, Danny. That's
I ain't never had the problem with hesitating. I just be I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I don't know.
All right, well, get back to us, bro. Get back to us with that one. Morgan, what you thinking?
What was the question one more time?
What's there's one piece of advice you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Invest in Amazon.
True.
No, I'm joking.
Okay. I thought it was a good one.
One piece of advice I would give my younger self. Do it anyway. That's probably the biggest. That's probably the biggest one for me for the things that I've been through in my life. Like, do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a period in my life, especially, you know, for those people that follow me or know me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have a son that has special needs, and I went through a period of my life, like before I went back to school, where I was legit scared to go back to school because I was like, man, if I go back, I had all these reasons in my head for why I couldn't do it, and I like, you know, all the reasons I wasn't gonna finish in my head because, man, you're gonna go back and then this is gonna happen, or you're gonna get you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna fail out of the class because you ain't got something's gonna happen with him, and then you gonna have to leave class, and then whatever. And I had all these excuses in my head for why I couldn't do this or why I couldn't do that. And thankfully, I did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know what I'm saying, I'm in a career versus a job. But there's so many other things that happened before that like my life could have been drastically different if I just did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's definitely mine. Do it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. One more question, and then we're gonna wrap up. But what's one thing that you would want everyone that sees this or hears this to walk away with?
Do it anyway.
Do it. I was just about to say that. Do it anyway. What Morgan just said is absolutely it, man. Like, there's enough reasons to be scared to do something, but you only need one to do it, and doing it can really change your life. Whatever it is that you got in your heart that you want to do, just do it anyway. Like, you know, like, get up and, like, that's why Nike makes so much money. Just do it. They were able to trademark them 3 words. Yeah. Just get up, just do it anyway, man.
I might trademark that tomorrow.
Do it anyway. Yeah, do it anyway is where it needs to be, man. Like, we all got excuses of why we shouldn't do something or why it could go wrong. But what if it go right? Like, what if it comes out good? You know, what if it impacts somebody's life? Yeah. Do it anyway. I'm with Morgan on that one.
Yeah. What you think about
drugs? Except drugs, like cocaine.
I mean, try it.
No.
What you thinking, Wally? What you thinking, Wally? What you thinking?
I'm trying to understand why they don't want them to do the drugs. They want them to do it anyway.
Don't do cocaine.
It's all the way.
Try it.
And definitely don't do crack.
Crack is whack.
I heard Whitney.
I'm not gonna comment on Whitney, but yeah, I mean, stay the course. It's the same. Like,
it's the same. Yeah.
You hear so many people come up to listen. The what pushed me, I was gonna do something regardless, but what pushed me, and I talk about my man Adara all the time. I met him. He had a crew called Dragon Clan. They were the first, like, multicultural, various race group I had ever run into. not predominantly black, but it was a mixture, and they was all holding it down together. And I'm talking to them and like, yo, I want to do what y'all doing, and I'm saying it like it's the impossible. And he looked at me like I was crazy as hell. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what you mean? He like, the only difference between me and you is with the side of the table I chose to stand on. That's it. You choosing to stay over there talking about what you want to do. We chose to stand over here and make it happen. And I'm like, word. Like, it was like an awakening. You know what I'm saying? It's like Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time. It's like, yo, okay, it's all choices. This is all choices. And people walk up all the time like, man, I want to do what y'all doing, man. And it's like, well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Put the first word, the first letter on the page.
Yeah.
Hell, buy a book to put a letter on the page. Open your computer, your phone, like whatever it is. Sketch somewhere. That first line. You know what I'm saying? My first comic book was a stick person in 5th grade. Stick people. Because I didn't want to couldn't draw faces, none of that. So I was stick people. Running around kicking and fighting people. It starts somewhere. You feel me? And by 10th grade, I had Xerox copies of full drawn books passed around and being sold in school.
Yeah.
It starts somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, that's good, man. So yeah, everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is
hold up, bro. Before you go, I gotta ask, Danny, what is that behind you on that shelf?
What? The Turtles or the Spider-Man?
Oh, that's Spider-Man. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Spider-Man or Ace Blade. If it was Ace Blade, I was going to have a problem with you because I'm like, where these statues keep popping up from? I know about that. But if you had another statue that we ain't know about, then.
This Spider-Man, it's got the.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. You ain't got to explain. Marvel got money. Bro don't want that on his.
You ain't want to plug him now. Look at you, Wally. You plugging Marvel all through the joint.
Nah, I said, what is it? As soon as he said Spider-Man, our conversation was over.
He said, no. But nah, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. But look, I appreciate everybody tuning in. The one thing that I want to say before we get out of here is definitely go check out the Foundation Tee at the link in I guess it's in the bio of this YouTube post. But I just want to say to Morgan, Wally, and Danny, man, I appreciate y'all so much. You know, when I first got into the game, y'all were my heroes. Y'all still my heroes. I've been looking up to y'all. And to have y'all want me to be a part of this thing with y'all really means a lot. And I'm just excited to rock with y'all, to be linked with y'all, and to continue to grow and expand with this idea, this project, and this legacy that we're building. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the people who tuned in. Y'all want to plug anything? Y'all want to say anything? Y'all want to shout anything out?
Well, first and foremost, appreciate you, my brother. I'm not gonna go out to that mushy stuff because Cat's already tried to say I was gonna shed a tear for Danny's speech earlier, and I ain't about to do that in front of y'all. But
you was close though.
Nah, it was like that little one. It was right there, and then I pulled it right back up and was like, nah, he ain't gonna do that. Say that for something else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, King Supreme, Super Bastard, 2024. You know what I mean? Bequest hardcover, 2024.
Go.
I guess the people have spoken. So Pakuma.
Yeah.
2024. Ace Blade.
Glad you accept that. I'm glad you accept that.
Ace Blade tonight, tomorrow, Friday.
Already? Did you already?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I'm
and El Tondo. Pakuma and El Time, 2024. Okay. And yes, Ace, no, I did not launch it.
Oh, okay.
Ace Blade number 7, Friday at 10 a.m.
Bet.
Lumberjacks 2023.
Yeah, Lumberjacks number 4, December 2023.
Scarlet Ranger, quick starter. Oh, am I supposed to say that?
Yeah, you say it. Go ahead.
Okay, Scarlet Ranger, quick starter, kicking off November.
Yep.
14th.
November 14th.
Lumberjacks graphic novel might be coming out 2024 too now. I mean 2023 too now.
And we
got some things coming.
And we're gonna have our first collective convention November 4th and 5th.
Right? Yep.
What's that? North Carolina Comic Con, right?
North Carolina Comic Con, yep. and then a few of us will be at Eastgate Comic Con in November as well. So Yeah, and I get Heroes Con 2024, right?
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think
do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Yeah.
Do it anyway. Get it done.
Anything else? We good? Well, like I said, thank y'all so much for coming through. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but y'all already know.
I feel like Danny throwing gang signs.